Every successful person has faced difficulties in their life and career. My guests will share with us the challenges they have overcome on the road to success. Every week we'll follow their story right here in Life with me, Patti Boulaye. Hello, welcome to Life with me, Patti Boulaye. Now my guest is the wonderful, very handsome, he never changes, Mike Holoway. He is a multi-talented actor, musician, singer, songwriter, producer, and presenter. And I tell you what, Mike came onto the public eye at the age of 10. So you must have something to tell us. Mike, you were 10.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction. I was just 10.
Good heavens.
Lovely to be with you, Patty.
Thank you.
Lovely.
You're welcome, but tell us, what happened?
Well, it was a very strange journey, but it was obviously meant to be, because at the age of 3 or 4, I started drumming with my granddad to Glenn Miller.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I get goosebumps just.
Oh, wow.
I love the sound of Glenn Miller. And I picked it up so quickly, it was obviously meant to be. So I became a drummer. I drummed in his little jazz band when I was 7, 8, 9 years old. And then I met a little lad called John, who we're still lifelong friends. John Somerton was the guitarist. And we did things like Blowing in the Wind, or Bloody, or Blada.
Oh, you're kidding.
Can't Buy
Oh,
Me Love.
Bloody,
Oh,
oh, Blada, life goes on.
And, you know, it was just there, obviously. And in those days, there were, as you would know, talent scouts. It wasn't like it is now.
Yeah.
There was only 3 channels. An ITV talent scout caught me and John. Our little band was called The Young Revival. How sweet.
That's wonderful. That's cute.
It's cute. So there I was doing Twist and Shout on the drums with John and a guitarist called Shirley. And Roger Price from Thames TV was in the audience at a charity concert at the Popular Civic Theatre in Bow.
Charity concert?
A charity concert, yeah.
You see, I keep telling these young people, you must do charity work.
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead,
And you're fabulous at that, it has to be said. We were discovered, I was, 10, 11 then, and Roger Price, who was the producer of the show, he came back to our house in Humble Green Lane in Dagenham, Essex, where I'm from, and 2 weeks later, by then I was just 12, so was John, and we were on telly.
Whoa.
So it was a really quick...
Did you keep the same name?
No, we changed it to Flintlock.
Okay.
And that was their choice.
Yeah, we remember Flintlock,
Yeah.
yes.
So that was their choice. But unlike the Monkees, we weren't actually a manufactured band. We could actually play.
Okay,
That was the big thing, because if you listen, it's not such good quality, but if you listen to the early You Must Be Joking, you can hear that we played live. So we did play live.
Oh, I remember those days when you have to do everything live.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, yes.
It was called Talent, I think.
It was called It was called Talent.
That's it. Do you remember those days? So it was very exciting, but it happened obviously when I was so very young.
Yes. So how did you maintain that? I mean, because, you know, I know even when you're growing up, they drive you and drive you and drive you and drive you and drive you. So when you're young, my goodness, it must have been, you know, you must have just been pulled on a string along.
Well, it was a bit of a... Now I look back and I see it through my little nephew's eyes, because he's 13 now. And I've got a wonderful relationship with my eldest sister because of what they went through as a family.
Yes.
I started to reflect about 4 or 5 years ago. That's a really loaded question for me, and I get goosebumps because it didn't really affect me what I was going through then at 13 until just 4 years ago. So the message to young people out there is, don't leave it too late to express yourself or to express your feelings or what you're feeling.
Oh, really?
Because, you know, I kept it in.
I tell you what, I'm sorry, I have to interject here, because it took me, when I was, my first lead in the West End was playing Yum Yum the Black Mikado. It was a tough company because I was the youngest and I was playing the lead. I had good reviews, incredible reviews.
I'm sure.
I was so scared to read them, it took me 30 years. So it took me 30 years before somebody said to me, it was a priest who told me,
Wow.
said, you never read your reviews? I said, no. So he told me what the reviews, I went and read it and I went, I wish I'd known this. I would have been so scared. Anyway, no, you tell me, yeah?
No,
You
well,
go ahead.
that's a lovely story, and that's because you are a grounded person. That's why you're
Yes.
not the sort of person that would read them and then suddenly you become this diva that
Big-headed.
wants, you know,
Diva,
flowers
yes.
everywhere and champagne
12
in the
towels
bath
in a dressing
after
room,
the show.
yeah.
But no, I, to be honest with you, Patti, it's only just recently I've been going through old diaries, and I just don't know
That's
how I did.
amazing.
I don't know how I did what I was doing.
I know you broke down once.
I did, yeah.
What happened? What did you
Well,
do?
I was recording 3 TV shows at the same time. I was doing the Tomorrow People, You Must Be Joking, and Fanfare, which was like a musical arts programme. We had wonderful guests like Thomas Allen, the opera singer, Tristan Fry, the percussionist. And then I was being travelled all over the place to do the concerts, the gigs. We'd fly to Japan, do a little tour for 10 days, come back. Then tour the UK. Then I was learning all these scripts. I was still under 16, so I had to have a private tutor. So I had to do 2 hours schooling by law because I was pulled out of school.
Of course.
And yeah, I'm afraid I was 16. I was in Sheffield doing a concert at the City Hall with Flintlock, and I collapsed on stage. And there's 8 days of my life that I can't really remember.
Really?
Because
What
I had,
happened? What did you collapse
it
with?
was exhaustion and pneumonia and pleurisy.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Pleurisy? Explain pleurisy.
Pleurisy is what they get. You can get either one lung or both.
Is it like
Fortunately,
fluid in the...
and it's massive fluid build-up, and you can't breathe. Pneumonia is the virus that can kill you. Pleurisy is curable. It's
Okay.
just something that they can deal with
Yeah.
and take out of
Take
your
the
body.
fluid, yeah.
But pneumonia is a virus, and obviously viruses can't be treated with antibiotics. So yeah, I hit a wall. And when I look back, what I can't forgive is the people around me then. Now I look back at Max, who's 13, and I think, well, I'm a parent now, and I wouldn't have allowed that to
Wouldn't have
happen.
allowed that to happen.
Does that make
I know.
sense?
It makes a great lot of sense. But, you know, I was very lucky in that because I could see how hard they could drive you if nobody's protecting you. I was lucky to have my husband. Well, we weren't married at the time when we first met, but he was like my fiancé and he was like my mentor, and he was any advice I
Wonderful.
needed, I would go to him. And he really balanced it out,
Yeah.
you know, so that you're not driving here and then they expect you to be there and you don't have time to breathe, okay? And then there was a time when they would give you, oh, you know, you go to Italy, you have an interview, and then you go to Germany, and then you go to, you know, and then you kind of think, oh, I don't think I can. And then they give you something to wake you up, you know, so, and then I can't sleep, and then they give you something to make you sleep, and that's how people get addicted.
This is it.
I never got any of that, so I was very blessed.
Yeah, well, you're very fortunate.
Yeah.
And that's why you still look amazing. That's good.
Well,
because
you survived well, Mike. Seriously.
Thank you.
You look so young
Thank
and
you.
so healthy that nobody will believe what you've been through.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, too, you had a very sad event in your family, didn't you?
Indeed,
Which
yeah.
just-
And again, relating to children, and don't be afraid to talk, because I saw it with Ryan, who's my eldest nephew. He's 22 now. But my sister, unfortunately, they went through a scenario with their daughter 20 years ago. Her name was Lauren, and she had this thing called Gaucher's, which is a very rare genetic disease that basically tricks your system into dying. That's the short version.
Oh, my goodness.
If you
okay.
Google it,
yeah,
the listeners
I've heard about, yeah.
can find out more.
Gaucher.
Gaucher, Gauche.
G-A-U-C-H-E, okay.
Great Ormond Street are the leaders on the subject and still are. So as a family, we still fundraise
Oh, really?
for Gosh
Oh.
and for Little Haven, because that was the hospice that we took her towards the end. But again, the point about children is that Ryan then was only 4, and he didn't express himself properly, and he developed a really strong stutter. And that's how the stress
That was how his stress manufactured.
came through him.
Yes.
So we had to work on that, and he's fine.
Did you think that it was a good idea? Because in Africa, what we do, we never save things from children like they do here.
Right.
Okay, we everything the child knows.
Yeah.
We never hide anything.
I think that's great.
Yeah, you think so?
I do. I
Because
really do.
that's what we do. Everything the child has to know. Because what happens is they know something is wrong.
Yeah.
They don't know what it is because they have no experience of anything.
No.
So you sort of tell them and then they can process it because the brain has magical things it does.
It
that
does.
processes things.
It does.
And if you can't process it, then it goes into
And
some
do you know
kind of-
what? And that's why I've got such a good relationship with my daughters, because I never ever treated, I've never thought of this until you've just said that, but I never treated them as children. I treated them as equals always. I always spoke to them with logic, and if they didn't understand, I would explain. And if they wanted to know, I'd show them.
Yeah. I hope that you
You
put
know-
some common sense in there too.
You know, which was, so maybe I
Yes.
did something right. I don't
No,
know.
you've done something right. You've done something. It's funny. Every time someone says logic, I think common sense too.
Yeah.
Because, I give lectures.
Yes.
And I always say, okay, the men are full of logic. Women, you're supposed to be full of common sense. It complements
Yes.
each other. When you start having logic and common sense is not so common, the guys are lost because they just got logic, and we need some common sense. Thank you.
That's right.
But it's you. So are they a boy and a girl? Your
It's
niece and
two
nephew?
girls, actually.
Two girls.
Yeah, two
Oh,
girls.
okay.
And my nephews are obviously Max and Ryan. They're boys, and obviously Ryan's an adult now. But the connection to people is that my message that I give to people always is just talk.
Yes.
Talk. Nip
Yes.
things in the bud. If you're feeling bad,
Say it.
say it. Thank you.
Say
Don't
it.
hide it.
Don't hide
Don't
it.
be afraid.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a new thing, because I guess I grew up the seventh of 9 children.
That's
Okay?
incredible.
So if you don't say it, somebody would
Say it for you. By the way, Patti says it.
honestly. So you say, if you're feeling bad, you have to say it. But I find sometimes if you're feeling bad, since being in the UK, and you say it, people do make you feel like either you're being stupid or they never actually listen to what you are saying or the sense behind what you're saying. But they're processing it as you shouldn't really be saying it. And that's why young people...
Well, I think George Cole once said to me, who was another one of my mentors, you see, I've been very lucky like you. I've worked with some giftedly talented people that learned their craft.
Yes.
And they were very willing to teach me when I was doing things like Pirates of Penzance in the West End. And he said to me, listen, he said, whether you're on stage or whether you're talking to someone, listen.
Yeah.
Because if you listen to what's going on, you'll get more back from your interjection to that conversation or that scene or whatever's going on.
Yes,
And
in
it's,
scenes, it's very...
there you go.
It's quite right. Because I remember I played Carmen. And if you don't listen, you don't... Because however she says it, that's what makes you react. Okay? And it's important to listen. Some people just thinking, oh, what's my next line? What's my next line? And they're thinking, what's my
You
next
can see
line?
the eyes,
You
can't
can
you?
see the
It's all
eyes.
going in.
Oh, the eyes say it all. It's all in the eyes. You're looking at them thinking, you don't know what you're saying. Oh dear, we're in trouble here. You're not going to come in. Because that is the most frightening thing. But
You have
that's
to
good
pick them up.
advice.
It was good advice, and there were other things that he would say, like always give people their moment, because
Yes.
if you make them feel good, the next time you get your moment, then you'll stand out. He said, if you're
Yes.
fidgeting and messing around,
Yes.
trying to take, he said it's wasted energy. Just be still and be strong. And I've got a lot to thank George Cole for, because he was a very skilled man in his craft.
Well, you know what? You should be proud of yourself for listening. Because I
Thank
have
you,
known
actually.
many people that have had such wonderful advice and they never listen. You know, I've done so many stage Western musicals, and there's certain actors, they're given, you know how the director will come and go, okay, we've got lines to go through, and he'll give you your, what's it called, your notes,
Yeah.
okay? And
Over the head.
totally. And I'm thinking, did he listen or did she listen? But some people just don't take it. I love notes.
Me too.
I love notes.
Me too. And did you see, I can tell, I don't even have to ask this, you would be the one, like I was the rare one, that would go with my script and my pencil with the rubber on the end.
Have you got any notes for me?
Yeah. And the rest of them are looking at me like, what have you brought that down for? I said, well, because I've also been, you know, aware of the fact that 70% of what someone will say to you will stay in, but it's impossible to remember 100%.
It is.
You
That's
need
true.
to write
You
it
need
down.
to write it down. Except that I've got out of the habit. I write down things and I never look at them anymore. Boy, have I got notes. I mean, my notes are like books now. I write down everything, but you cannot, because it's coming at you. That's
Yeah.
another thing, okay? You've got information from the internet, you know, you listen to something someone says, you go, oh, I love that. You write it down. And I'm thinking, if I go to my notes, I'll probably have a book there.
Yeah.
You know? But one thing I wanted to speak to you about was after you had the collapse, between that, how long did it take you? You know, obviously the group, when the group broke up, how long did it take you to kind of get back? And what did it take to do
Yeah,
that?
well, I think that was the word courage and the word that you've used a lot as well. It's about you're faced with two choices. You either sink or swim. It is literally as simple as that. I know for some people the swimming aspect can be frightening. For me, it was daunting because I wasn't well. I recovered quite quickly because when you're young, you do.
Yes.
But of course, punk rock came along and glam rock finished.
Absolutely.
So that was that. Didn't stand a chance. Pin-up boys out the window. In came, all right, mate. Woo. So I was gifted by meeting somebody called Ian Adams, who was a vocal coach and teacher. And at the time, he taught Michael Crawford to sing.
Okay,
The
that's
Phantom.
where I've heard of him. All right, yeah.
And he taught Sarah Brightman,
Okay,
of course.
yes.
And
was he in Kensington?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Ian Adams, lots of people know of him. And long story short, I spent 2 years with him learning to sing and the technique. And Patti, I was able, with hard work, picking up on previous guests that you've had statement, hard work. I practiced and practiced.
Oh,
I was a drummer.
Yeah.
So I reinvented to sing. And I did Grease, I did Godspell, Jesus Christ Superstar, Pirates of Penzance, most rock and roll shows.
I'm glad you mentioned that, yes. I didn't mention those, yes.
15 years sort of flew by. I've never thought of that, but yeah, 15 years of touring UK, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, Robin Prince of Sherwood. So that's where my arrow, excuse the pun, decided to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a big challenge. And again, message to you know, young kids out there, you know, challenge is just a word, but don't make it your enemy. Challenge should be the positive.
Challenge is good.
Yeah, that should be the positive.
Challenge is good. Challenge is your best friend. Because you don't learn unless you challenge yourself, you know. I mean, if I'm having to do something on my own, I can get lazy. Put competition there. Poof!
Yeah. It's like a rocket, isn't it? It's like, I'm there.
Yeah, suddenly. Because, you know, I mean, when people wouldn't let children compete, there's nothing wrong with being last.
No.
Just next time, be first.
Correct.
You know, there's nothing wrong. Actually, if you're first the first time, then the chances are you're going to go back because there's nowhere else to go.
Yep.
I always say that. There's nowhere else to go. If you're first, work your way. Work your way through, learn, look at people. I often say to people, you're looking at the mountain, you want to live on top of the mountain. The fun is in climbing up.
Yeah.
When you go there, you can look down and go, oh, I'm here. Well, there's nowhere else to go.
Yeah. Well,
But the fun is that struggle to get up there.
Exactly. And I often get asked the question, well, you know, you've been in the business for like 45 years because you started so
I
young.
outrank you, yeah. Okay.
So there's no, you certainly do, and you've learned your craft beyond me because you've got those extra years. But the point being is that people say, well, what is there to learn? Well, I've just learned to become a presenter in the last 5 months, as you know, on digital radio. My answer is you never stop learning.
You should never stop. You should never stop learning. I mean, here I am interviewing people. I'm usually being interviewed.
Yeah.
Bit frightening to start with, but I've got a great team.
Yeah.
So it's really wonderful. And it's just wonderful to have someone like you and for you to mention, all these problems that we face.
Yeah.
And actually what I like about you is that you started much younger than the rest of us did, obviously.
Yeah.
And so you had seen all the bad, bits where people just let you drown.
I'm shocked.
Before they
now.
even tell you that you're in the water.
Yes.
That was very sad. But I want to ask you the final question, which is, would you want to be a young person in this time?
In this time, I would grab it with great enthusiasm, but I would rather hope that I had people around me. It's a really interesting question because like with my nephew, who's 13, Max, who I'm very close to, when he comes to see me, the technology goes away. We have a joke now. He comes to my house, they do stopovers, and the technology goes in the drawer in the hallway, and I'll buy him something like a glider, and we'll make that together, and we'll go to the park, and we'll spend all afternoon messing around, flying it, and doing something constructive that way. I would say it needs balance.
It needs balance.
It needs balance, because every decade had its problem growing through it. This one has become particularly troublesome because with all this, I call it...
the technology is just, it's...
The social skills
I know.
in young people, I'm afraid for them because they're losing that ability to speak even confidently or to hold sentences or to do, any project or think for themselves, I think. It's
even to flirt.
Yes.
Mike, thank you so much. I mean, gosh, I'm going to finish there because it's just Mike Holoway. God bless you. Thank you for being my guest. And it's so good to see you again.
It's been a great pleasure. Thank you, Patti.
Thank you.